Alright, carousel time. So, I've liked starting Twisted Fate lately because, if you get Twisted Fate with a Shiv, a Morellonomicon, or a Jeweled Gauntlet early, he's really, really strong. He can carry you, like, through the middle of Stage 3 if you get Twisted Fate 2 with those items, so... Yeah, I like starting Twisted Fate now. But yeah, my favorite item to start is usually Tier now because I've really liked the Ice Cream Cone playstyle recently. Ice cream cones are really fun. It just gives you it essentially gives you Arcanist buff without having to play Arcanist. But yeah, we're starting Twisted Fate here. If you are interested in TFT content though, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm a relatively new content creator. I think I started posting TFT like maybe a month ago. I try to post 3 to 5 times a week, and I have pretty good insights. I'm a master tier player. This is my Smurf account, and I just hit Diamond 3 on it. I think this is actually the game I hit Diamond 3 on. But yeah, I play a lot, as much as I can with a full-time job. And the more subscribers and support and likes that I get, the more I will have time and money to invest into things like editors and, well, I guess mainly editors. But yeah, so my content will only improve as my support grows. So like and subscribe if you're interested, and enjoy. But yeah, we're looking and we're trying to see what augment we get here. And here I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so Mutant Crest is the first thing I see. I'm like, what is mutant this game? So I have to look around. I look for any Kog'Maws, Kassadins, or Malzahars, or Cho'Gaths, and I see no one in the game has Kog'Maw, Malzahar, Cho'Gath, or Kassadin. So I'm not taking mutant because I just don't know what it is. If it's like Omnivamp or like Blade Master Mutant, I don't really want that, especially not with my items. So I'm considering armor plating or trade sector. I have recently not liked trade sector as much because I don't have a lot of self-control and I can't manage my economy very well through the early game. I just hold too many things on my bench. So I decided to go armor plating. And the problem with armor plating is obviously I don't have Cho'Gath, I don't have Scion, I don't have Galio. And it only works on those champions. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't really have an augment right now. And honestly, through probably most of Stage 3, I won't have an augment. But I see Gangplank. I'm like, oh, what I could do is instead of trying to find an early Cho'Gath, I could Mercenary lose streak until I find Scion. And then hopefully cash out, play Scion, and have the armor plating, and just build a comp off that. So I find the Gangplank, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold this until I find Quinn, Alawi, or I guess Misfortune too. I level because, not because I think I'm going to win a round, because I don't think I'm going to win a round. First of all, you should almost always play the Darius here. You should almost never play Twisted Fate over Darius with 3 Yordle. Because Bodyguard buff is much better. 2 Bodyguard buff is significantly stronger than 2 Arcanist. Especially early game. And as expected, I lose this round because this guy's Alawi 2. Even though he only has 3 units, he beats me. But Alawi 2 is very strong early game, at least. Here, I roll a second Gangplank. And I'm like, okay. Well, now I have to go Mercenaries. I hit Graves. And I'm like, maybe I can play this Gangplank and get a random 1 gold. Because if Gangplank executes something with his ability, he gains 1 gold. 1 gold for everything he executes with his ability. Really, I should play Graves to get a better chance at this, but I'm like, I think I should just play Darius to try to save as much HP. And then I decided to go back to Gangplank because I know I'm not going to win. Well, looking at this guy's board, actually I might have one with Darius. But I didn't think I was going to win. And this Gangplank does like no damage. Lulu ults Alawi, and Alawi ults my Lulu, so I don't end up even killing the Alawi. I lose 4-0 2 straight rounds, or I guess it's 3-0 to 4, 3-0 and 4-0 2 straight rounds. Oh, I think I just hit my mic. I hope that wasn't very loud. I hit Ziggs too, and then I hit a Quinn. I'm like, okay, I just need an Alawi now. Alawi is the key to my success. So here I actually pre-level, and then I put a Rod on Ziggs and play Ezreal so I can get Scrap. And Ziggs rolls Morellonomicon, which is really good, but unfortunately I have a non-existent front line. What I did with pre-leveling, what you can do in this game is pre-leveling is when you don't have enough money to get to the next level, you level up to 2 gold below the level threshold. So I need 10 gold to level up. I leveled up to 8. So once the next round happens, I'll get the 2 natural experience, and then I will get a natural roll on the level 5 shop. So I have a very small, I think a 1% chance at 4 costs, and I have like a 20% chance at 3 costs, I think is what it is. So that's definitely why I did that. Carousel comes around, I see another Gangplank. I'm like, I guess I have to go Gangplank, right? Because what else am I going to do here? I can build GA. It's a good item. Really, I would have preferred to probably take Morellonomicon if I was just going for the item. But here is Gangplank 2, and I'm thinking Gangplank 2 might be able to give me some gold on my way to just lose streaking into Colossus. I find a Lowy and Gangplank upgrades, and then I'm like, okay, I have to play Mercenaries now. I just have to play them and lose as much as I can. So I actually don't want the Ziggs in the game because I want to get more money, and I also want to lose. So I'm not playing Ziggs. I decided to play Kassadin because I think Kassadin's a little weaker than Darius, and then I position my units in the worst way that I think I can other than frontlining Quinn. And this guy, I'm like, I might have actually beaten this guy if I positioned a little bit better. This guy's Metabolic Accelerator as well. Yeah, I think if I positioned a little bit better, I would have been able to beat this guy. So it was good that I didn't position better, but I didn't need to position this badly, is pretty much what I'm saying. I roll a Janna, and I'm like, do I play Janna here? What does Janna even give me? It gives me nothing. And it's expensive to hold. I'm like, I don't think I can play it. I can't keep the Janna. I sell Kassadin and Darius. And I could play Vi here. Vi is obviously stronger than Kassadin, but I still want to keep pretty much the weakest board that I can while keeping all my mercenaries in the game. But I run into 4 bodyguard. I'm like, okay, there's no way I would have done anything even with good positioning. Like, I don't think anything that I could have played would have killed a single unit on this board. Vi might have been able to do something, but Ezreal also rolled Infinity Edge, so Vi probably wasn't doing anything this round. So here I am at 64 HP, which is very, very low. Like, extremely excessively low for Krugs. I'm like, okay, this is like almost as low as you can be. I think the lowest you can be at Krugs is 58. I think that's the lowest I've seen someone. So I am doing pretty much as bad as you can possibly do. I've killed like, I think 3 units this entire time. And I haven't won a round, obviously. So I'm on a 2 mercenary loss streak. And I'm looking for some kind of direction here. I had a second sword, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty much for sure, you know, it's got to be GA here. I look and there's a Malzahar pair. I don't think it's worth it to pick up a Malzahar pair here. There are actually 2 innovators, but I can't play innovators from my angle either. I hit an Alawi, which is useful, and I'm holding on to the Malzahar because there's no reason to sell it right now. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I probably don't beat anyone, but I still want to keep this positioning just in case I do. This guy has Enforcer, which I didn't even realize. I really should have positioned a little bit better this turn. In hindsight, I was positioning excessively poorly. So this was a bad choice by me. Because I lost 13 HP there. And losing 13 HP in 3-1 is really, really bad. This guy's Mercenary and he cashed out kind of early, so I'm like, I don't think he is in a good spot. I find Misfortune, and my chest gives me, what, 5 gold, I think? I'm looking around to see who I beat, and this guy I think I might beat, but I underestimate how strong Talon is. These guys are all stronger than me. That guy is the one guy that I'm like, maybe I beat that guy, so I still need to position, like, kind of not great. But I'm changing my positioning a little bit to be a little bit stronger. I want Vi next to Gangplank because Vi lowers armor when she casts, so Gangplank can do a little bit more damage. But this guy, yeah, he just runs through me. There's no way I beat this guy. He has Clockwork, 4 Challenger. He has Samira with Last Whisper. There's just not a chance I beat that guy. So here, I finally hit 50 gold, but I'm at 41 HP at 3-2. And now I'm about to go into my next augment. I'm thinking, I am probably too low. My Mercenary chest hasn't given me anything good. I'm struggling. And here I'm like, oh, all of these are kind of bad for me too. So I get item grab bag. I'm like, sure, whatever. Stone plate, fine. It's an okay item, I guess. And at this point, I'm like, I need to at least beat some units. Even if I don't win, I need to just kill something. Because otherwise, I'm just going to die. I'm going to slowly bleed out and die. Well, I'm not even slowly. I'm going to quickly just get eliminated from the game. And I decide to equip the stone plate on Malawi because I don't think I'm going to beat this guy. He has self-repair, makeshift armor, innovator. He's just hoping that he hits an innovator spat thing. I think innovator is... It's not that good this patch, just because there's no way you can really... Like, there's no guaranteed way to hit innovator 7. And innovator 5 is just kind of meh. Like, it's okay, but... Like, the good innovators you want to run are like... Well, let's look at this carousel first. What am I taking from this carousel? I take the tier because I want Ice Cream Cone. I think Ice Cream Cone is arguably the best item in the game right now. It's really, really good. But, oh, Ice Cream Cone is Chalice. It's the tier plus cloak item. I think it's Chalice of Power in this game is what it's called. It's the purple, like, cup-looking item. But people say it looks like an Ice Cream Cone. That's why they call it Ice Cream Cone. What was I saying before? Was I saying how weak I was? I don't remember what I was saying. I don't know. I guess we won't find out. And then I level up here. I'm like, I'm just going to level up. I don't want to lose. I don't want to win quite yet because my Mercenary chest is still so bad. Like, I'm in a terrible spot right now. My Mercenary chest isn't good, and I haven't... Like, I'm way too low. I'm at 28 HP at 3-5. So, like, I am weakest player in the lobby by far. Next closest guy is what, 50? Is that 50? I don't know if that's more than 50. So this was a guy I think I might beat, but he hit Scion. And he has, is that Talon 2? No, it's still Talon 1, but he's so strong. So Gangplank actually gets 2 people there, which is amazing. And then he gets 3. Gangplank actually gets 3 units there, and Graves manages to stall out. So I would have beaten this guy 2 turns ago, actually. But this turn, no. Because he hit Scion. And here I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I got something good. Defensive item. Defensive item component is good. I don't know what it is. It could be a cloak, it could be a vest, it could be, I guess, maybe belts, a defensive item. I hit Viktor here. I'm like, whoa, Viktor, Urgot. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a Chemtech game. I hit Jin, I hit Malzahar. I'm like, okay, I have Arcanist. Here I just throw in Urgot because I realize I can take 1 more loss and I'm not too worried about it. And I have creeps coming up, so I have more time to get a little bit stronger. But this guy's playing bodyguards, so I don't think I beat him at all. But my misfortune does help me a little bit, which is nice. Like, I don't lose too miserably. I don't think my Urgot does anything, though. Yeah, Urgot was 2nd lowest damage. As a 4-cost unit, like, Urgot is extremely item dependent and unusually low damage. He's just kind of... He's not that good. Like, Urgot isn't that good this patch. I hope they buff him in some way, but I think the best buff they could do to Urgot would be to take away his shooting through GA. Just don't allow him to do that. So here, I get Nico's help and an item component. I'm like, okay, now I think it's good enough to cash out, and regardless of whether it's good enough, I don't have a choice. Like, I'm at 14 HP, I might be at 1 life. Like, I might die the next turn. So, I play Jin here. And I'm like, what am I doing? I just wait to see what items I get to figure out what I'm really doing. And I hit 2 tiers and a sword. So I'm like, oh, well, I just hit Viktor items. I hit a Shojin and a Seraphs, which is like perfect items Viktor. And then I have a GA, so I'm like, okay, let me get rid of this Gangplank because I already have 3 Mercenary. And then I have these other items. I'm like, what do I build with these? I'm not really sure. So I'm kind of just looking around. I'm like, I want to play Malzahar instead of Vi because I think that's a little bit stronger. And then I put Viktor in a safer spot. I buy Janna for no reason at all, really. I should move Alawi to the left of Graves, but I didn't do that. So here I make Giant Slayer on Jhin, and I make the I make Ionic Spark on Alawi because I just want as much chance as I can to win this round. I pretty much have to. So Viktor goes off. He doesn't full kill the backline, but Jin's actually doing a lot of damage. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but Viktor's passive, like when he auto attacks stuff, he reduces their armor by 70%. So Viktor's a natural Last Whisper. If Jin's attacking the same thing that Viktor attacks, then he does a ton more damage. But I win the round. I cash out my Mercenary. I hit Scion. So I have my armor plating finally at 4-2. I was playing without an augment until essentially 4-2. And then I sell everything. I'm like, get these Mercenaries out of here. I don't want to see you ever again. I play Seraphine, and I put Scion on the Socialite Hex, and then I go through all these. I realized I didn't get any champions really throughout that whole thing. I just got this Mundo. So I don't really mind about like slowly getting in. I hit another Ice Cream Cone, which is super lucky. And now I'm just big chillin'. But my board is all 1-star. Fortunately, though, with armor plating and Viktor with these items, it doesn't really matter. Like, double Ice Cream Cone gives Viktor 70% bonus AP. I accidentally hit escape there. And then Arcanist buff gives him another 20%. And then Seraphs, by the time he casts, he usually has around 2 stacks. So Viktor essentially has 50 plus 70 plus 20%, which is, what is that, 90 plus 50, 140% AP by the time he casts. He's going to one-shot most backlines with that. If he gets 2 lasers on the backline, he'll one-shot pretty much any backline, even as 1-star. So here I'm like, okay, I hit Orianna and get Misfortune out of here because Jhin is not my carry, and I'd much rather have the Clockwork buff for Viktor. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, what else can I play here? Kai'Sa, Akali, I just buy them, but I don't think I can really play them. Fiora, and I'm like, oh, do I just switch to Kai'Sa Fiora this game? The Socialite Hex isn't advantageous for it, so I don't think I'm going to do it. I play Mundo instead of Vex because I already have 2 Arcanists, and I think Mundo's a better frontliner than Vex. And then this guy. This guy is, what? I don't know what this guy's build is, actually. He is 2 Challenger, 2 Clockwork, Seraphine. I don't know what this guy's build. He's kind of in between a lot of stuff, it looks like. I buy the Jace because right now I actually do have a potential Kai'Sa build. Even though I sell the Kai'Sa now because I don't really want Kai'Sa. I'm looking at this board, I'm like, I don't have Morellonomicon. Kai'Sa's only really good with Morellonomicon, and I need that if I want to play Kai'Sa. I see the board, I'm like, okay, I want to take the Orianna because it gives me closer to Orianna too. I'm just looking for anything that can make me immediately stronger because right now, my items are kind of perfect. I don't really need anything else, so I'm just taking the Orianna because I want the tier. And I want the Orianna. I could potentially make a 3rd Ice Cream Cone if I hit Orianna too. It's just a very strong thing to do. I don't remember why I was looking at that guy's board. So I hit Scion 2 here, and I'm like, awesome, really needed that. Find Janna, Seraphine 2 is big, Malzahar 2 doesn't really matter, but it's nice. Janna 2, I'm like, how do I play Janna 2? And I decide it's probably better to play Janna than it is to play Mundo. The Enchanter buff is worth more than Mundo's tankiness, and I'm pretty sure Janna is going to heal more than Mundo would tank for. Like, Janna would provide more effective tankiness, essentially. So here's the Urgot guy. Looks like he's hit Urgot 2, and he has 5 ergots, which is a lot. But my Scion has armor plating, and he's grouped up all his units, so Scion, Ori both go off, and then Viktor goes off, and this guy's just kind of screwed. Like, he positioned as bad as he possibly could to play against my board. So here I'm looking, I'm like, Broken Stopwatch is not it, because Jhin is not my carry this game. Orianna is kind of a carry, but she doesn't really need it. It's either Celestial or Scholar, and I choose Scholar because I'm realizing I don't know how I'm going to fit in another Scholar this game, unless I just replace Seraphine. So I put the Scholar on Malzahar, I get Jhin too, and I'm like, okay, well, now I can just kind of chill. I'm considering Nicoing Orianna here, but I don't want to. Another Yuumi and another Viktor, so I'm like, okay, I have to Nico Viktor here. I have to sell this Yuumi, unfortunately, even though it would potentially be a Yuumi pair, and then I Nico Viktor. Now we have Viktor 2. We have everything upgraded except for Orianna on our board, so we're actually extremely strong right now. And we have armor plating, armor plating is really powerful. Like, armor plating Galio, armor plating Scion, even armor plating Cho'Gath is really strong. This guy's board is pretty much all 1 star, and he missed his Shroud, so I am pretty confident that I win this. This is a very Ori-heavy lobby, as you can see, and this guy actually kind of has my board just a little bit weaker. That's unlucky for him. He is going for Viktor or Orianna, Seraphine as well, which is like... I don't know why he has his front line on the left and then his back line on the right, though. I didn't understand that. I just put both on the same side. Oh wait, this guy was the Innovator guy. Why did he switch to a non-Innovator build? I don't know. That's weird. He's like throwing away an augment, essentially. So I don't know how he plans to do anything this game. Seraphine and Jhin actually did more damage than Viktor that round, which is a little bit surprising. And so here I'm looking, I'm like, I don't need any of those. And I'm like, oh, sweet, Redemption Scion. If you look, I build the Redemption, and I thought I put the tier on him. I don't know what happened there. I'm pretty sure I did put the tier on him, but it didn't place. And then I'm looking, I found a second Ori, and I'm looking, I'm like, how do I play Yuumi here? I already have Scholar Emblem. I don't really think I can fit it in, but I'm not willing to sell it yet. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I got another tier? Where did this come from? And I just throw it on Malzahar because I don't have scrap for Johnny yet. I see the Blitzcrank and I pick it up, but it was a little too late to actually play it. This guy has Galio and Braum 2. He has Shaco 2. He's actually pretty strong, but my Orianna went off and hit all his assassins. His Galio is running straight into my Viktor laser, and it just one-shots the entire board. Viktor 2 is extremely powerful. Like, if you have battery items, Viktor, you are golden. Like, double Chalice, Seraphs, Shojin, Scholar. Like, Viktor needs a lot of support, but with adequate support, Viktor is extremely powerful. So I sell the Malzahar for Blitzcrank here because I realize that this tier can be better utilized on Janna, because I don't realize that I still don't have Redemption on Scion. Like, I don't know why the tier didn't go on Scion, but it's not there. So I don't realize that he doesn't have Redemption. I'm like, oh wow, my board is so strong. Tier Janna with all these is amazing. And this guy has challengers, but challenger against, what's it called, armor plating is really, really difficult. Viktor goes off, and then he has Yone against essentially 4. And there isn't a high chance that he wins this. Like, you can't kill armor plating, and Viktor revived. Seraphine doesn't die easily, especially with the Scholar Emblem. It's very hard for challengers to beat Colossus. Very, very hard. And Scion's really strong this patch, too. I'm looking, I'm like, the only thing that would really give me an upgrade is Orianna. I'm still considering... Oh, this guy almost has Heimerdinger 3. I'm still considering playing 4 Scholar here at some point. maybe at 9 I would consider playing Heimerdinger and Yumi, is what I'm thinking, instead of Jin and Blitzcrank. Or just really instead of Jin, I guess. This guy has double Infinity Edge and his Jin has QSS, but my Orianna is really strong and my Viktor's going off and his backline's done. So it kind of didn't matter what he had. And Viktor goes off again. Like, this guy's 4 bodyguard and my build is built to beat 4 bodyguard. Like, I saw this was a bodyguard heavy lobby and I got lucky that I rolled Viktor early. If I had rolled something else, I don't think I could have even placed this game. Like, if I had rolled Jinx or Jace or I guess just Jinx or Jace, I don't think I could have done it. So I take the Static Shiv here because I want more magic reduction, magic resist reduction. And Static Shiv, every third auto it triggers bonus damage, but every third auto it also triggers magic resist reduction. So it reduces the opponent's magic resist that is hit by Static Shiv is reduced by 50%. So anything that is not in range of the Ionic Spark magic resist reduction is going to get hit by the Static Shiv magic resist reduction. Here's the Yordle player. I'm like, the Heimerdinger is kind of scary, but I'm honestly not very worried about this. He doesn't even have Janna, so he doesn't have magic resist at all. And Viktor goes off and just kind of, like, Heimerdinger's healing only matters if stuff, you know, doesn't die, you know? So, yeah. Like, Viktor's doing 1,000 damage per cast. It's kind of not really, like, yeah. Like, one laser does 1,000 damage to stuff. Here I can level up, and I decide it's definitely best to level up. I just play the Yumi. And I roll down for just anything else that I can find. Here I'm probably looking for Yumi too. I was looking for a way to play this Heimerdinger, but I was realizing I would have to sell Seraphine too, and even though Seraphine doesn't have any synergy other than... Oh, this guy has Urgot 3, by the way, but his Urgot rolled terrible items. He has Bramble Vest and regular armor on him, and everything targets the Urgot, so it's kind of just like he didn't even get through Scion's second armor plating proc, so like, and this guy has double Bruiser, Trade Sector, like he's just not very strong. Like, even with Urgot 3, he's just not very strong. I hit Galio here, and then I hit a Jeweled Gauntlet, and I'm like, wait a second. Jeweled Gauntlet is better on Orianna than it is on Seraphine. Especially because I'm cornering my Seraphine and I don't have QSS on my Seraphine. So Seraphine can get hooked at any second and then just kind of ruin everything. So I decide I'm going to sell and remake Orianna because I only have Orianna 1 anyway. And I'm going to put Jeweled Gauntlet on her. I would not rather have Jeweled Gauntlet on Viktor, by the way. I don't think Jeweled Gauntlet's better on Viktor. I think Jeweled Gauntlet is low-key BIS on Kai'Sa now, though. I think it is better than Morellonomicon. You should put Morellonomicon on a different unit, like Seraphine or Galio or just Orianna, something else. Because I think Jeweled Gauntlet's actually better for Kai'Sa now. So I hit Orianna 2 here, and I'm like, finally, I've been waiting for this for like 2 stages. But it's right as I get the Jeweled Gauntlet, so it actually comes perfect timing. This is the Assassin player. I am a little bit worried about him because he has 7 Syndicate, and his units don't stay still for my Viktor lasers. Yeah, I just got like... Viktor only got 2 lasers off there, and I'm like, oh god, wait a second, I'm dying here. And I'm not sure if I full die here, like, I'm like, oh. And I survived with 2 HP, but I'm top 3. I'm like, okay, I survived with 2 HP. I don't know what to do, but I need to change something, because I cannot beat that Assassin player in my current build. And then I decide it's time to get rid of Jin. I'm like, this guy is just dying. I roll once, I hit Galio. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Time to get rid of Jhin, play Galio, and put Galio in the back line. Replace, what's it called? Oh God, what is that champion's name? Replace Yuumi for Galio. I put the Giant Slayer on Galio as well. So here I'm like, okay, I know a lot of people would rather play Yuumi than Blitzcrank, but right now Blitzcrank gives Galio Bodyguard, and Blitzcrank gives Scion Protector, and it gives my team Scrap. So there is no world where Yuumi is better than Blitz, especially because I already have 2 Scholar. Like, Blitz is better than Yuumi a lot of the time. If you're planning to play Scion or Galio, or both, or Janna, Blitz is just really, really good late game because he ties together a lot of late game units. Like, he ties together a 5 cost, a 4 cost, and a 4 cost, so it's kind of hard not to play Blitzcrank late game. And I'm like, okay, so now I need to put Galio on the Socialite Hex, I need to put Scion here, and Janna stays here, but I see this, I'm like, wait, there's a tier on Janna. Why is there a tier on Janna? I don't have Redemption on Scion. I'm looking, I'm like, what do I do here? What do I do here? And I'm like, oh no, I need the Redemption on Scion, don't I? And I sell and actually play the Seraphine instead. I think this is a mistake. I honestly think that was a pretty bad mistake that I made there. But my board's so strong with Galio instead. Like, Galio kind of bodies Assassins, is what people don't really realize. If you're having trouble beating Assassins, play Galio. Galio is so much better than Assassins. The problem is Galio's a 5 cost unit. But Galio is pretty not contested in these lobbies right now. Like, no one really likes to play Galio. And I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, what can I play here? I decided to take the Janna just because I needed another Janna. Really, I think I probably should have taken the Infinity Edge here, but I wanted Janna because I need Scrap. I need Scrap, and Janna provides Scrap. Scrap, Enchanter, Scholar. Like, I just need Janna. I always want to pick up Kai'Sa's, but it just doesn't work with my build right now. I'm looking for more Jannas. I'm like, oh, okay, we hit 1. And then I'm going to sell the Akali here and keep rolling. And we hit Janna too. So really, that last round was just kind of a fluke. And now we're good. I'm putting Scion backline because I'm afraid that I'm playing against the Assassin guy again and I don't want a chance to lose. This is perfect positioning because Scion is going to tank a lot of damage here, and he can't get to my Viktor anymore. And this positioning actually helps the units be closer to my backline, so Orianna ults on... Orianna's ultimate targets the highest clump of units, regardless of whether they're friendly or enemy, because Orianna's ult applies a shield and applies damage. So you want the enemies to be clumped on your tankiest units, so you get a shield for your tankiest units, and you also hit the enemy. So what I did there is I put Galio backline, hoping that his assassins would jump and stay on the, Scion backline, hoping that his assassins would jump, stick on the Scion, and then once they stuck on the Scion, Orianna ults on all the assassins and just groups them up, and then Viktor laches them all. That's what I was hoping, but it didn't quite work out like that, but Galio just beats assassins anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm rolling here. I don't know what I'm rolling for. My board's capped. I literally can't upgrade anything else. I put Blitzcrank there because Caitlyn's in the corner and Heimerdinger has QSS, so if Blitzcrank hooks Heimerdinger with QSS, he doesn't grab him, but he can grab Caitlyn, so he puts Caitlyn in a bad position, and Caitlyn won't hopefully ult my backline there. Yeah, she just gets bodied by the Orianna Seraphine combo. Viktor casts, and Vigar dies, and then Scion Galio just kind of body the backline, and that is the game. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, like and subscribe. This was a Viktor game. I don't normally play Viktor because he needs pretty specific items and conditions to get wins, but yeah, this was my Viktor game. GG, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all later. I have like 3 other voiceovers to record, so you'll probably be getting voiceovers for a little while, but yeah, thanks for watching.